Hello and welcome everyone, it's Capkin, and today we're looking at our Guardian Druid talent tree from upcoming Dragonflight expansion that is currently in beta, and we had a recent update on PTR, though it's probably was dedicated more to rogues and someone else who I can't really remember. But yeah, let's start looking at the talent tree of the Guardian. Druid from the Maul. 40 rage, instant, multi-target for 1400 physical damage, melee range. That's our single target rage spender for damage. Then goes one passive and one active abilities. From the first looks of it, the talent tree looks quite more simplistic, on a simple side, at least in terms of like lines and everything and how everything is laid out. But let's see. Gore, Thresh, Swipe, Moonfire and Maul have a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Mangle and to cause it generate an additional 4 rage. Okay, so additional cooldown resets, rage generation, then survival instincts. 3 minutes cooldown reduces all damage you take by 50% for 6 seconds, which is one of our core defensive abilities. Now let's go with this part first. Mangle deals 20% additional damage against bleeding targets. Improved survival instincts. Survival instincts now has 2 charges. Okay, which definitely can be quite handy, because like 50% damage is quite a crucial stuff to have, so additional charge can save you in different kinds of situations. Ursine Adapt. Moonfire, Soothe, Remove Corruption and Rebirth are usable in bear form. Multiple uses of Iron Fur may overlap. All damage taken in bear form reduced by 10%? Yeah, you're not skipping this talent, 100%. So here we have, choose one. Either Bristling Fur, instant 40 seconds cooldown, bristle your fur, causing you to generate rage based on damage taken for 8 seconds. Or Brambles. Sharp Brambles protect you, absorb and reflecting up to 92 damage from each attack. While Bark Skin is active, the Brambles also deal 43 nature damage to all nearby enemies every 1 second. So yeah, that's a little bit of a passive damage increase for you. And here we have quite big rage generation increase on not a big of a cooldown. Yeah, Bristling Fur looks kinda cool, 100%. Then Innate Resolve. Regrowth and Frenzied Regeneration healing is increased by 20% on yourself. Frenzied Regeneration has 1 additional charge. Oh, so even more heal, even more like massive heals. Quite interesting. So 30 seconds cooldown, and then you have 2 charges and an additional healing. So yeah, it's like very good for your self-sustain. It's very good for you to help healer with its mana. It's very good for you to have just more solo capabilities and stuff. Flashing Claws. Thrash has a 10% chance to trigger an additional Thrash, and then it goes up to 20% chance. Tooth and Claw. Auto attacks have a 20% chance to empower your next Maul, stacking up to 2 times. Empowered Maul deals 40% increased damage and reduces the target's damage to you by 15% for 6 seconds, which is, yeah, it's quite massive for a single target, especially like with all the damage reductions. Yeah, looks very, very good. Especially like, yeah, this talent is just it's just bonkers. If that's not something that they've taken away from us and then they're gonna give it. Stormwind, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you like ringing in those bells? I'm sorry. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Then we go with Earth Warden. When you deal direct damage with Thresh, you gain a charge of Earth Warden, reducing the damage of the next auto attack you take by 30%. Earth Warden may have up to 3 charges, and with auto triggers of additional Thrashes. It's quite interesting for me. Are you gonna get more charges of Earth Warden if you're attacking with Thrash multiple targets? Does it count for every single target, or does it count as per thrash use? If you need to hit at least one target, and then it's gonna get you a chance to trigger this Earth Warden, which still seems pretty good. A vicious cycle. Mangle increases the damage of your next Maul, and Maul increases the damage of your next Mangle by 15%, stacks up to 3. Alright, vulnerable flesh. Maul has an additional 15% chance to critically strike, and then 30% chance to critically strike, which is quite interesting that you want to you're getting additional crit strikes on your single target ability. Gives you single target damage. Alright, and then as the last talent in this part, we have Berserk and Checked Aggression. Rank 1, go Berserk for 15 seconds, increasing haste by 15% and reducing the rage cost of Maul by 50%, which increases our single target damage again even more, and just gives us haste combines with other Berserk abilities. So yeah, that's an increase for Berserk. And I have the tree looks kinda small, to be honest. It reminds me a bit of a balanced druid from before. Either that's the case, or I'm I've saw almost all talent trees in the game currently, and maybe that's my blurred vision already goes in place. But yeah, looks kind of not smallish, but not wide enough. Then we have in center, infected wounds. Mangle and Maul cause an infected wound in the target, reducing their movement speed by 50% for 12 seconds. That's for you to kite. Berserk Ravage. Go Berserk for 15 seconds, reducing the cooldowns of the Mangle, Thrash, and Growl by 100%. So additional increases for your Berserk to have an additional cooldown reductions, which is quite interesting. Here on the second dead end, here we have Ursoc's Endurance. Increases the duration of Bark Skin and Iron Fur by 1 and then by 2 seconds. Ooh, which quite good. So here we had more of a damage oriented. Yeah, we've had some damage reductions, but more single target damage and stuff here. And here we have, at least for now, more defensive things. Mangle has a 15% chance to reduce the rage cost of your next Iron Fur by 25%, which is again defensive stuff. A layered main. Iron Fur has a 10% chance to grant 2 application, and Frenzied Regeneration has a 10% to not consume a charge. And then it goes up to probably 20% chance. Scintillating Moonlight. Moonfire reduces damage dealt to you by 2%, then by 4%. Again, even more defensive stuff. Galactic Guardian. Your damage has a 5% chance to trigger a free automatic Moonfire on the target. When this occurs, the next Moonfire you cast generates 8 rage and deals 300 increased direct damage. So that's for you to increasingly use your moonlights, decrease the damage that you're getting, and generate some additional rage. Quite a cool. Twin Moonfire. Moonfire deals 20% increased damage and also hits another nearby enemy within 15 yards to the top of the target. So yeah, that's for you to stack even more Moonfires, I guess, if you're dealing with packs of mobs in M+. Oh shit. Yeah, that's I've chosen not the best location, probably in the Stormwind, so let me fly out a little bit somewhere around. Proudmore's finest at your service. Thanks a lot. So yeah, Galactic Guardian indeed. So you can have increased moonlights, and these moonlights are gonna deal more damage. They're gonna regenerate your rage. They're gonna decrease damage that you're taking, which is kind of cool, I guess. So here we have dead end front of the pack. Stampeding Roars, radius and duration are increased by 15%. Your movement speed is increased by by 5%, and this movement speed is increase is just like constant, which is of course it's good for your raid encounters where you need to move very fast, or maybe for M+ for you to just like additionally speed up your pack if you need to run big distances. But yeah, probably situational peak 100%. Then we have reinforced fur. Iron fur increases armor by an additional 4%, and bark skin reduces damage taken by an additional 5%. Yeah, so that's like very heavily oriented on defensives. And berserk persistence. Go berserk for 15 seconds, reducing the cooldown of frenzied regeneration by 100% and cost of iron fur by 50%. So yeah, like as you can see, it's very similar to old Moonkin talent tree in terms of like here you have this section that is dedicated hardly to one thing. There you have second section that is like for completely other stuff, and probably if you want damage you wouldn't go right, if you want defensives you wouldn't go left, at least you wouldn't go as hard as you could have. And it's not as just mixed up all around as with some other talent trees. And as you can see, these later parts, they are very heavily divided. So if you're going in one talent like road, then you're probably gonna go full on with it and you can't mix and match between them, which is like, yeah, it looks kind of sad. Maybe they're gonna like rework it, I don't know what's the thing with it. So survival of the fittest reduces the cooldowns of bark skin and survival instincts by 15 and then 30%, which like again more defensives, and it looks very good. Yeah, like it looks very cool. After the wildlife, every 200 rage you spend causes a burst of restorative energy, healing allies within 8 yards for 1500 health, so a little bit of group sustain. And yeah, it's like AoE heal even, which is quite cool, yeah. Or Guardian of Elune. A mangle target increases the duration of your next Iron Fur by 2 seconds, and the healing of your next Frenzied Regeneration by 20%. More defensive stuff. Here, like just group utility if you're not struggling with HP and your group struggling. Soul of the Forest. Mangle generates 5 more rage and deals 25% more damage. Okay, more damage, good, interesting. Blood Frenzy. Thrash also generates 2 rage each time it deals damage. Thrash also generates 2 rage. Oh, and that's very good for your like AoE rage generation, and yeah, like AoE increases in everything. Quite cool. Rage of the Sleeper. Oh, I'm not in bear form. I hope I'm not gonna drown, you know. Let's see. No, we're not drowning. Yeah, so Rage of the Sleeper. Instant in bear form, 1.5 minutes cooldown. Unleashes the Rage of Ursok for 10 seconds, preventing 25% of all damage you take and reflecting a small amount of nature damage back at your attackers. While active, you're immune to all effects that cause loss of control of your character. Prevents 25% damage you take, reflecting some damage back at attackers, 10 seconds duration, and you're immune to stuff that that makes you lose control. Okay. So defensive cooldown with 25% even more damage reduce. All right, let's see. So yeah, that's quite heavily defensive stuff. Fury of Nature. While in bear form, you deal 10% increased arcane damage. Are you for real? 20%. Are you gonna like want us to use Moonlight so much that like it's gonna be cool for us to take talent that gives us increased arcane damage by 20%? Kind of weird. Elune's Favored. While in bear form, you deal 30% increased arcane damage and are healed for 30% of all arcane damage done. So even more Moonlights. And maybe something else like deals arcane damage as well, but I don't really know. Looks kinda bonkers. Circle of Life and Death. Your damage over time effects deal their damage in 25% less time, and your healing over time effects in 15% less time. Maybe for like, for bear form, it's not the hottest talent, even though for like Cat and for Moonkin, for restoration druids, it was pretty good. Yeah, looks interesting. Incarnation Guardian of Ursoc, an improved bear form that grants the benefits of Berserk, causes Mangle to hit up to 3 targets, and increases maximum health by 30%. Last 30 seconds, you may freely shapeshift in and out of this improved bear form for its duration. Still no duration here. Yeah, so increased, like upgraded form, which every druid talent tree had. Convoke the spirits, channel 2 minutes cooldown, call upon the Night Fae for an eruption of energy, channeling 16 druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds. You will cast Mangle, Iron Fur, Moonfire, and probably everything else at a lesser rate. Man. Stormwind is not the best place for you to record your videos. Favoring your current shapeshift form. Yeah, so convoke the spirits here, and Ursoc's guidance. Incarnation Guardian of Ursoc. Every 20 rage you spend reduces the cooldown of Incarnation Guardian of Ursoc by 1 second, which is good, even though we don't really know the cooldown of itself. And then convoke the spirits upgrade. Convoke the spirits cooldown is reduced by 50% from 2 minutes to 1 minute, and its duration and number of spells cast is reduced by 25%, which means it's like 12 spells instead of 16. Convoke the spirits has an increased chance to use an exceptional spell or ability. Yeah, so here we have just like here we have arcane damage and just generally useful stuff in terms of both defensives and offensives. But yeah, arcane bear, it's very interesting concept, 100%, but how it's gonna play, I don't know. So we've saw these parts. No, Mole has an additional chance. Yeah, so we've already made our way here. So I guess let's go like this. Yeah, reinvigoration, frenzied regeneration cooldown is reduced by 15, then 30%. Cool. Then choose one. Ursoc's Fury. Thresh and Maul grant you an absorb shield for 75% of the damage dealt for 15 seconds. It's quite good. Dream of Scenarios. When you take a non-periodic damage, you have a chance equal to your critical strike to cause your next regrowth to be instant, free, and castable in all forms for 30 seconds. This effect cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds. So so here we have like go increase strikes even more. It says to us like man, like I'm not playing bear, like I've not played bear, to be honest, as much. I've just like played it in some heroics, normals, open world. I've not played it in mythics, nor I've tanked raids with it, but the tree itself looks kind of weird. Just so that, like, yeah, we're honest, it's definitely small. And it's kind of weird because yeah, you like have crit strike increases, stuff that depends on your crit strike. Then you have like arcane damage and moonfire, which are, of course, they reduce damage dealt to you, but still they're not like they don't seem like part of your rotation. Then your endpoint talents are somewhat iffy, not in this part, more like in this part, before they convoke the spirit. Yeah, like Circle of Life and Death, how much does it gonna do for your character at all? Do you want that arcane damage? Here, crit strikes, yeah, weird. Pulverize requires bear form, instant 45 seconds cooldown, a devastating blow that consumes 2 stacks of your thresh on the target to deal quite massive instant physical damage, and reduce the damage they deal to you by 35% for 10 seconds, which is definitely pretty juicy. Yeah, looks kind of cool, and we can take, just talents that look quite simple and understandable from the point of tank and from the point of like bear, and not critical strike chance, not like, yeah, something else. Random tier. Each stack of thrash reduces the target's damage to you by 2% and increases your damage to them by 2%, which is quite good. Or Untamed Savagery increases the damage and the radius of thrash by 25%, which means that, yeah, you're becoming like an ultimate AoE tank damage dealer. which is quite good. So yeah, there is some choice here. I'm not saying that it's terrible. I'm not like the most professional bear like Guardian player in the world and stuff like that. But in my opinion, in my like view, this talent tree doesn't really gives you an inherent interest in the specialization if you've not played it before. If you're like, okay, let me look at the Guardian, what can it do? There's not as much cool stuff here. It's definitely good, like in terms of that you can go into like very hardly defensive part of the tree, or you can go into more like damage, AoE damage, and stuff like that. That you can go in arcane damage. I just don't know how good is it, and do we even have more stuff with arcane damage than Moonfire? Yeah. So if you like, for example, if there was some abilities that were converting your physical damage into arcane damage in like with your base main spells, and you could have become like really arcane guardian, arcane like a loon type of bear. Even though probably not Elune is for like Ursok has to be the entity that helps druids. But still, if you could have like changed stylistically your character and stuff like that, if there was like path for this, it would have like it would have been cooler. It would have seemed cooler, and you probably would have bigger like image of cool variants of builds that you can go with. And here you don't really have that much of a different choices for different situations. So it's okay, but in my own opinion, nothing more than okay, and probably it really wouldn't make me wanna play Guardian. Maybe, and like, yeah, I'm not meta chaser. If Guardians are the best, especially with this talent tree, and they have like tons of damage reductions, tons of self-heal, and like, yeah, they're like best tank, especially at the start of the expansion, and everybody plays them. Okay, no problem for me. I'm like no, not in that. I'm not an expert in that way of playing the game. I'm an expert in stylistics and in like just general vibe of the things. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if it's not hard for you. I hope you're having a great day, and goodbye.